Hello friends, it's Sherry from Turquoise Dreaming, and what I'm doing today is working on these little Christmas card journals. I'm just going to just dive right in and get to work today. I've got about 50 minutes, 50, and so I don't want to waste any time. I want to see how many of these little journals I can get bound today. But the first thing I thought I would do is, a subby asked me about a 5 pamphlet stitch. I normally would only do 3, and I'm going to only do 3 on all of these except for one. I'm going to do one with a 5 pamphlet stitch to demonstrate that for my subby, and hopefully she'll see this. I will put it in the title so that she sees this, but I'm having a lot of fun, and I've completed all these journals now except for the binding. I've got the covers with the eyelets and the little closures and all the pages. There's 32 pages or 64 fronts and backs, but no pockets. There are some flip outs in some of them, not all of them, but I'm just making sure my pages are where I want them. And so just to demonstrate real quick, and I don't know how long I'll stay on. I might just demonstrate the 5 pamphlet stitch for my subby to show her. And I know there's other, probably many other videos out there. And there's also different ways of doing this, I'm sure. But this is how I've been doing it lately. So I'm just demonstrating it for her to answer her question that she asked me. And, I like to, I don't want to just say, oh, you go watch this video. Somebody asked me how to do something, I want to show how I do it, So, just getting all these pages in the right spot here. That's the first thing I do. Make sure they're upright. Look at your cover and your pages. Make sure everything's going in the right direction, not upside down, backwards, or whatever, So, I think I have it all in there. Make sure it's in between the top of the cover and the bottom of the cover. You don't want to stick it down. I don't want it sticking out either way. So, and it's a junk journal, so it's not so totally perfect. Some people like the pages all even on the bottom. If that's the way you like it, then put your pages in that position. I've kind of got them centered in between the top and the bottom of the cover, and then I'm going to put a little binder clip on here and just keep everything in place. And the 3 pamphlet stitch is the same. It's just that you add 2 more stitches when you're doing the 5. So just like that, I kind of loosened it there for a second and made sure everything was pushed down into this little fold here inside, nice and tight. Okay, so I've got my this is the all that I use. I got this on Amazon. I think I have a link down in my favorites, and so if you need one, I've really enjoyed working with this one. I like the thinness of the needle. It doesn't make a big hole. I had another one that made a bigger hole, and that's why I got this one. I wanted a smaller hole, and I think it's perfect. And so yeah, just click on that link if you want one, and it should take you right to it on Amazon. But for the 5 pamphlet stitch, I don't make just for a single, signature journal like this. Even a traveler's notebook, bigger, the regular standard size, this is what I would do, the exact same thing. So I just look and kind of eyeball where I think the middle is, and then I poke a hole in the middle. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And just be careful when you're poking through, because you don't want to poke your finger. I've done it and it does not feel good. And if you, it's almost like this is so sharp, you could poke a hole right through your finger if you're not careful. So be really careful with that. So there's one hole. Now next I do my 2 end holes. So this is going to be a lot for this little journal of 5 holes because it is shorter. I wouldn't do it normally on here. I would do it on, I just did those Christmas magazine journals, and I did the 5 pamphlet stitch on those because they're 8 1/4 inches long, so it's perfect for those. But on here, so I'm going to go a little bit from the top, and let's see, let's go about, I'm just eyeballing about maybe a little bit more than 1/2 inch like 3/4 of an inch, a little bit more than 1/2 inch. I don't think it's quite 3/4 of an inch down. I'm going to poke another hole here in the, this is actually the bottom of the, it doesn't matter which one you do first, top, bottom. You're just doing the top and the bottom. It doesn't matter which one you do first. So there's the bottom. No, this is, oh, that was the top. Okay, it just looked like, I was looking at the back, it looked like the bottom, but that was the top. Okay, so now we're going to do the bottom. Same thing, about a little bit more than 1/2 inch right here. So let me poke that hole. So I am at work. If I'm talking a little quiet, I'm trying to talk loud enough so you can hear, but quiet enough so they don't hear me out there. So another hole there on the bottom. Okay, now I'm going to kind of eyeball in the center between this bottom hole and the center hole and put another hole right in the middle. So you do make 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 holes for a 5 pamphlet stitch, right? Okay, so another hole in the middle of the bottom and the center hole there. This is 16 pieces of paper, that plus the cover that I'm going through here. So the thicker, the more paper you have, the little harder it is to get through. But normally I would have something under here that I can just not be afraid of, you know, poking my awl into. But I'm at work, so I don't have that with me today. So I'm just that's why I'm holding it up like this. But normally you can put a book, a thick book, or I have a little glass pad that I glue on, and I do this on to protect my table surface, but I just don't have that here today. So the 5th hole in between the middle and the top hole here, and again I'm watching my fingers. So I kind of twist it around too, just to, like I said, this makes such a thin hole. Sometimes you just have to make your hole a little bigger to get your needle through, right? So I kind of go around like that, try to make my hole big enough for my needle to get through. But, you know, it's still smaller than my previous awl. And so, yeah, I need my needle and I'm using baker's twine today. It is a nice baker's twine, I'll show you, though. So I'm gonna have this little thing of needles. I threw this in my bag this morning. That's where I keep my needles for binding. And I have my favorite one in here. It has a good size eye on it, but not a thick eye, if you know what I mean. It's long, so I can get my thread through, but not really wide or anything, so it doesn't make my hole bigger. So and that just came with my wax cord kit that I bought on Amazon, which I also think I have listed, probably a link below. All of my videos, especially my recent ones, when I started listing my favorite things that I've bought on Amazon. So there's my needle, and then I get my baker's twine. I don't know if I have this linked, but this is a really neat little bolt of baker's twine that I had bought when I first started making journals on Amazon, and I kind of haven't used it a whole lot, but because I think it's so pretty, I kind of have it as a decoration. But I started using it recently because I ran out of baker's twine from Dollar Tree, and my Dollar Trees around here are not having it in the store right now. Anyway, so I pulled out 3 links, whatever length my journal is, 3 links. And I don't really find, even with the 5 pamphlet stitch, that I need any more than that. If you think you need more, just pull out a little more. Better to have too much than not enough. Okay, and then I just thread my needle. And this is you know, baker's twine from the bolt, so I find it very strong, but it's a little thinner than the baker's twine that you get from Dollar Tree, so it's kind of nice for binding. As far as, usually I can get it through the needle pretty easily. See, I just got it through the needle with no problem. The Dollar Tree is a little thicker, so sometimes it makes it a little hard to get it through the needle. Anyway, so we're going to go like this. First of all, through the middle hole. And then just push the needle through there. And this is what works for me. This is how I do it. And, you know, I think it's a pretty easy way to do things. So there you've got your extra string there, and you don't want that to come through. Some people will tape this down with a little washi. I think that's a good idea. I don't do it. But if you want, tape it down with some washi so you have more of a chance of it not being pulled through the hole. Or you can just hold it with your thumb. Sometimes I do that. If I can, I'll do that. Right now, I'm not gonna worry about it. If I feel like I'm gonna pull it through, I'll hold it. Okay, now we're gonna go toward the top and go in the next hole up that we made. So I'm gonna poke down through there. This is from the outside to the inside. And again, you wanna watch your fingers. Now this is what you have to do when you do this. You kind of just have to work with your holes and your pages. So like, okay, here's my hole. You know it's there. Why won't my needle go through? I don't know. You just have to work with it. So there's my hole. I poked again. I didn't poke a new hole. I just kind of went through to make help my needle. Let's see if it helped. It's going to go through this time. Yes, I went through. Okay, just watch your fingers. You don't want to poke your, and then just watch your fingers. You don't want to poke your fingers with the needle either. And then check this to make sure it's not going through. I just pulled it back a little bit. Okay, so you're going to get your needle through. And usually when I'm at home, I have my little pliers handy. I have a little set of, you know, the jewelry pliers. So I keep those handy so I can help myself pull this needle through with the pliers sometimes if it's tough. Okay, so then we're going to poke it through our next hole. Again, watch your thread. At this point you still have a good chance of pulling it through, but it's easy to pull it back this way. There's your first stitch. Okay, now we're going to go through the top. And again, that hole almost feels like it closes up or something. I think it really does. It closes up on me. So I'm poking my awl through that same hole again. Open up the hole again. Even though you didn't make it any bigger or make a new hole, it's just kind of like you opened it up again. Okay, so let's pull it through here. Okay, now you've got it through two holes, one, two, well actually three. I'm going to pull this a little bit, the center one, make sure. Now I'm going to hold on to it here for a second so I can grab it pretty easily. Okay, now we're going to go back down through our second hole from the top, okay? Back down through there. And you can kind of push down on your table too if you have a surface without protection. Right now I'm just going to push it down like that and help my needle go through. Okay, again, pull this tight, pull everything tight. You want to keep everything tight. Okay, everything's tight right now. Okay, I'm going to go back down through my center hole at this point. I like to make a really strong pamphlet stitch, and I don't know if other people do it different, but this is how I do it. And I feel like it's very strong at the end. Okay, so back down through the middle hole, pull that through. Okay, and as you're sewing, just check everything, make sure it's lined up, make sure it's tight. You know, you can kind of feel it, it's very tight. Okay, now we're going toward the bottom of the journal. And the next hole down, which is the one in between the center and the very bottom hole. So it's the 1, 2, 3, 4th hole down. Go back up through, go back down through there. And again, I'm gonna have to check my hole with my awl. Okay. Like I said, it kind of like seems like it closes up on me. Okay, so you know it's there. You can see you just poked your awl through again. Okay. My finger's out of the way. There it goes. Okay, now I can push down on my desk here, my table, pull it through. Okay, everything's tight. And pulled on the center string again, just to keep everything tight there on the top part. Okay, pull this one tight that you just put through. Now we're going to go through the bottom, the very bottom hole from inside to the outside. Okay, so is it going to go through right away? No, of course not. So let's poke our awl through there, open up our hole again, poke this down, the needle through, see if that'll go through easier now. Yes. See, I don't know why that works, but it does for me. Okay, and then just, there we go. Now, let's check our tightness again. Pull on that middle string a little bit. Pull on this string here. Everything's tight, okay. Ready to do the next hole. Now we're going to go back up through our second hole from the bottom. That's the fourth hole from the top, second hole from the bottom. We're going to go from through there, so we're going from the outside to the inside. It went right in this time. Okay, and this is the last one I do. Okay, so at this point you pull your needle off and just make sure you can look at the outside. You kind of feel it, feel if everything feels tight, you know, and if it doesn't, you pull on all your strings and make it tight. Mine does feel tight. I've been pulling on it through the whole process to make sure it stays tight. So at this point, you want to tie it so that your knot is in the middle. So just put your string through like you're going to tie a knot, whatever you're using to bind, and have it up here where it ends in the middle, okay? So you saw that, right? Let me do it again. You've got your string where you pulled it through your second from the whole top. You've got your middle string that you left. Okay, you're going to tie a knot. So you're going to tie a double or triple knot actually, but you tie it so that it ties like that right in the middle. The knot ends up right in the middle. And then just kind of hold it like you're tying a knot and tie another knot. You're tying a double knot at least. I play it by ear. If I think I need another knot, a third one, I'll do a third one. Okay, so that was 2 knots. That was a double knot. Is it tight? Yes. I don't really think I need a third knot. So there you've got the first string that you left. This is the one that you ended with. It's too long. I'm going to cut it off. Now if you want to hang something on your strings, you can leave it a little longer, because when you hang something on here, like say you want to put some little charms on here, you need room to tie. Like if you tie it on and tie a knot on the charm, you need room to tie that on. So leave your strings a little longer. But if you don't, I'm not going to tie any charms in here, so I'm going to try to cut it even. Like just take your other one and cut it even, the two strings, so you have even strings. Okay, there's your extra. We had all of this extra here. Okay, so, and that's it. You're done. Take your binder clips off. And sometimes I use paper clips because the binder clips can make a little mark on your book, depending on what kind of material your book is made out of. I'm not going to worry about it on this one, but you know, if you're worried about it making marks, these metal pieces here clamp down so hard they can make a mark on your journal cover, depending on what it's made out of. So if you are afraid these are going to make a mark, use a large paper clip. Paper clips don't make a mark. I've never seen a paper clip make a mark. So at this point, finally, this journal is done. So you can see it looks really nice, cute, with the red and white string, and here's the inside. I'll show it your way with the little strings. So all done, right? Super cute. And this little journal's tying up like this. And there we go. Now I can do the other. What do I have here? I think I've already given away 4 or 5 of them, so I probably have about 30 or 31 here. No, I did finish. I have some more that are finished at home, though. I have about 3 or 4 more that are finished at home. So I only have about 25 more to go, probably. There we go. So I'm going to end this here so I can get a lot done on my lunch break and do all these. Maybe pound some of these out today and see how many I get done. So there you go. That's for my subby 5 pamphlet stitch. Hope you liked it. See y'all later and happy crafting.